maybe listen to him speak, yeah. No matter what, just let it go.
Alright guys, we're back. I got a hat on. I had to take a break. I just cooked some hamburgers. Oh, they were so beautiful. My favorite, just straight up hamburgers with mayonnaise and onions. Oh, love them. Cooked up like 4 of them because I'm getting fucking fat. And and don't ever tell me I don't love you all, man. We're a couple, like 3 hours into this stuff, I think. Like 3 hours or something crazy. Probably more than that. Excuse me. But you guys deserve this, you know? Anybody can say, oh my god, I love you guys. I don't even know if anyone's even gonna watch this far into the video. But it means a lot to me that I demonstrate to you all that I care a lot about you. So far, I mean, the video is not going to end just here. There were a total, I think, of like 231 responses. I'm gonna respond to every single one of you. I don't care. I'm thick-headed. You guys know how I am. I can be super stubborn when it comes to, like, when I say I'm gonna do something. I either do it or I don't. It's that simple. Right? Well, that's usually how it occurs. We're gonna get into this to the next people. Alright. So the next gentleman, unfortunately, this person's name is in a different language. Chinese or Japanese. I really don't know. Don't get offended by that. So just know that I have incredible love for you. Your answer is fine so far. No one has gotten the virus around us, luckily. That makes me very happy. That makes me very happy knowing that things are a little bit less strenuous over there, wherever you're at. And that makes me very happy. So keep hanging in there. Just give me 1 second. So it's nighttime here now, and unfortunately I don't have like I don't have professional lighting. Okay, let's get into the groove. I got to get into that groove now. Oh damn it, this thing went to the side. Hold on. Okay. Ashutosh Kumar. The doctor knows the cure. Get her out here. Yeah, the doctor from Identity 5. There we go. We need doctor from Identity 5. Okay, thank you for commenting, by the way. Hold on. Okay. ALM. Am good, just dying from very, very slow internet connection. Yep. You know, Dari didn't have internet connection, so I know what that's like. Well, I don't, but I know what it's like to have a loved one that pretty much cannot use the internet. So it's a very frustrating time for sure. For sure. So hang in there, you know. It's a good time to explore them leisures. Purple Frago. Take care, Persway. You too, Purple. Much love to you. I mean that. Vashta. I'm well. Surprisingly not lonely, but I lost complete track of time. How long have I been home? The more important thing is that you're well. Time is a very curious thing. Sometimes it goes by fast, sometimes it goes by slow. But at the end of the day, how you spend your time is ultimately your choice, hopefully. So I hope that you're spending it in a way that you feel it's productive and meaningful to you. Vashta, thank you so much for commenting. Pikin Flores? I messed that up, but I'm sorry. Yes, I am. Stay safe and strong. Oh, 180 pounds, baby. More like fat and safe. Just kidding. Remember, this is the most that I've ever weighed, so no one get mad at me for saying those comments. Thank you very much. I hope that you stay safe and strong as well. Thank you so much. Denny Hart. Yep, doing good. Been on quarantine for like 2 weeks now, and I forget what day it is. Hey, there's other people that agree with you. I mostly read, draw, or play Identity 5 to pass the time. Hey, thank you so much for commenting, Denny Hart. It'd be cool to see some of your drawings. Email me, perswayable@gmail.com. Would love to see your drawings. Say you told me to send me my pictures, or your pictures, or whatever. Take care, Denny. Much love. Jules Mac, I hope you're doing fine. I am doing fine. Thank you so much for checking in on me. I appreciate that. Continue taking care of yourselves, Jules. Or Joel's. Ranny or Ronnie, I'm doing fine. I think it's Ranny. Still dealing with school though. Now that classes have been transferred online, I hope you take care as well. Thank you so much. I hope that you continue taking care of yourself. That's a notification. And yeah, online classes are a bitch, so do the best that you can to adapt to it. Kuro. Well, I think I said that right. Kuro. It better be one of those three. Because if it's something else, there's no way you can expect me to get that. Well, I am taking good care of myself, but my mental health has been under the weather lately. Other than that, everything is fine. I want everybody to take good care of themselves. Well, we also want you to take good care of yourself as well, my friend. You know, your mental health is super important. You know, I see that quite a bit of, you know, people are like, well, other than that, I'm doing fine. It's like, wait, what do you mean other than that? It's like somebody coming to me in my clinic, and I go into them, and I say, hey, how you feeling today? Oh, I'm doing really good. You know, my blood pressure is like 200 over 70. Not that big of a deal, but everything else is well. And it's like, what? Oh, yeah, you know, I'm good. I just checked my blood pressure. And no patient checks their blood pressure. But it's like, wait, that's a big concern. 200? You could be, you can die. So with mental health, it's a very important thing. Very, very important thing. It's unfortunate that the medical field has taken so long to catch up with that. But we want you to take good care of yourself. Keep doing a good job at it. Keep managing. We're rooting for you, okay, Kuro? I don't know. Great. Doing good. Nice and concise. Thank you, great. We're rooting for you. All right. Areolus, Ryu. I'm so bad at this. I'm so sorry. Absolutely. Washing hands every time I touch something. Wearing gloves. Wearing face masks. The drill. Hope you are taking good care of yourself. Stay safe and keep your head up. Yeah, I am. I'm keeping everything good. Make sure that when you're using your gloves, though, you're only using those gloves when you're touching like one or two things. You know, it's crazy. People are wearing gloves full time now, and it's like that's not what gloves are supposed to be for. Gloves are supposed to be like when you interact with something within a room, for example. When you're done in that room, you take your gloves off and you throw them away. I see people who are wearing gloves like all day, and I'm like, you're just going to continue contaminating your car, contaminating your clothes if you touch yourself. You're actually, you know, so I'm sure you know that, but that's just to everybody out there, people who may not know that. If I'm in a room with a patient, everything I touch in there, I throw the gloves out. I see people who go in a supermarket, they're wearing gloves, and then they get into their car, still wearing the gloves, and it's like you just contaminated your steering wheel now. Now that needs to be wiped down because everything that you just touched is now transferred to your car. So the whole point of gloves is to dispose of them, and people are using them full time. It's crazy. Thank you very much, by the way, Ryu, for responding. Who'sinator? I'm good. Just got done taking a massive dump, though. That's good. Bowel movements, they're super important in the medical field. We want to make sure you're having healthy bowel movements. There you go. I feel like my body's on a routine. It's always when I wake up. Oh, yeah. It's weird. Sorry, guys. Gayu. Hi, LOL. I really don't know what to say, but me and my family are doing fine, and my online lessons just ended today. Hey, that's a lot to say, though. You had a lot to offer there. You're telling me, first of all, you said hi, so hi back to you. And I'm glad that you and your family are doing well. That's actually really, really important for both you and them. And online lessons, they ended. That's also great because they suck. So good for you for getting through with it. Thank you for commenting, by the way. Summer Rose, I find that it's quite soothing to be at home because I get to revise my schoolwork. Hope you and your girlfriend is okay too. We are doing great, and I'm glad that you have been able to find a soothing aspect to all this. You know, people who are homebodies, they're like, hey, welcome to my life. A lot of the people who have to constantly be out of the house, they're going crazy. I have a colleague in the medical building, and they're a very active person. I mean, super active, and they are struggling so hard. I'm laughing because they're my good good colleague, my good constituent, somebody I'm very close to, and they're just going crazy trying to quarantine. And it's just so funny because, like, you know, I always feel guilty always being inside, you know, doing YouTube, doing video games. And now, like, this just, you know, when it's a rainy day and you feel better about being inside than what it is when it's a sunny day, you kind of feel guilty because, like, deep down, you know, like, it's a sunny day, I should be outside, but instead I'm inside. But when it rains or snows, you, like, remove any of that inclination. Some people won't understand that, and that's perfectly okay. You're not pressured to think like that. But, like, for me, like, if it's a super sunny day and it's super nice out and I'm staying inside all day, even though I'll probably still play video games, I'm like, damn, I should be outside. But when it rains or it snows, I'm like, yes, I can be inside. So, like, my colleague will, like, you know, they're always running and being super physically active and always being out, social butterfly. They're staying inside, and I'm like, yo, this is justified. Now, it's like a rainy day, but for months, I'm being told to stay inside. I'm like, welcome to my life, boo-boo. They're like, what do I do with my life? And I'm like, I don't know, just watch my YouTube and go on Dead by Daylight Mobile and Identity 5. Watch anime. Alright, Luo. It's nothing much different from a Saturday off here. Though the world is panicking. We've been waiting to play out in the sun after these long months of winter, but I guess that's not what we're getting safe. Wow, I'm reading this wrong. It's nothing much different from a Saturday off here. Though the world is panicking. We've been waiting to play out in the sun after these long months of winter, but I guess that's not what we're getting, sadly. I hope your friends and loved ones, and you as well, are safe. You know, it's so interesting. We just talked about all of that, right? We talked about all of that a couple hours ago. Wow, this is a long video. And it's still upsetting that we're not going to be able to possibly enjoy spring and summer like we normally would be, right? Because this is going to change our daily lives. That doesn't mean that we do not have the ability to adapt to it in the best manner that we can. I think that that's where a lot of people are getting it wrong. They're used to doing their normal routine. They're used to doing their normal things, their typical things. And now this is going to change a lot of that up. So the question is do you adapt or not? You know, you can either sit there, not you personally, but sit there and wall up in it and just say, hey, there's nothing I can do, that's it. That's it. Or you can say, okay, the weather is nice. What can I do with this? You know, am I allowed to go out and, you know, towards my yard? Am I allowed to do certain things? Socially, maybe not so much. But for you, for your individual self, is there something that you can do? Now, some of you, the answer will be no, but then the question is why? So we got to make do with this to the best of our ability. Adapting is everything, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, it's adapting is everything. But that doesn't mean that if we adapt, we're not still allowed to be upset about the changes. We are, but do good things for your mind, body, and spirit. You have the ability. You've done it your whole life. You guys have done it through things that you felt like you'd never get through. School, breakups, divorces, death. You know, you guys have gone through a lot. And sure, maybe you've never gone through a pandemic, but at some point you never went through a divorce. You never went through a death. At some point you didn't go through middle school. At some point you didn't go through high school. And it's not I already know somebody's going to be like, well, you can't really compare middle school or an ex-girlfriend or boyfriend to a pandemic. You're totally right. But I do know that when you're young, those early experiences can have lasting effects because at that point in time when they occurred, they were the biggest obstacles for you to get over. And so in retrospect, you can look at it and say, oh, it wasn't that big. Well, when you went through it, though, it may have been. And that's okay. That's why I don't get the whole, like, when you talk about the things that you're going through in life, there's always that one person that needs to make it sound like what they went through was worse than what you went through. And it's like, why does there have to be a comparison? Why does it have to be who went through worse? All I know is that during that time, when I went through it, it was important to me and it was very hard. So although you've had obstacles that are probably harder in your life, to me, this is the hardest obstacle I've ever gone through. So it's not about a comparison, it's about what you've personally gone through. And you've gone through some serious shit in your life. All of you have. Life is about obstacles. Very few people don't have that many obstacles, and that's what we call privilege. But just because you have some privileges doesn't mean that you don't have any obstacles at all. I disagree with that. Other people will do that as well. Oh, you have more privilege than me, therefore my life is harder than yours. No, that's not always the case. Actually, sometimes privilege can have its own obstacles. So the point is that you've gotten through some serious shit in your life, and a lot of you are going to get over this as well. And so adapt. Do what you've been doing your whole life. I'm not asking you to do anything different. I'm telling you to do what you've been doing, and that is adapting. And we feel the most despair in our life when we think that we can't, when we forget how to. Thank you so much for commenting. I mean that. Estelarius, I messed that up too. I've been going into a slight downward spiral, but that's fine. Thanks for asking. Hope you've been well too. Well, it's not really that fine, because you're in a slight downward spiral, and most of the time people start off slightly going downhill before really falling downhill. A few things can make us drop rapidly, but that's also expected even within psychological literature. For instance, after the death of somebody, if it happens especially rapidly or quickly, the DSM won't even classify you under major depressive disorder. You have a window of grieving period that even scientific literature acknowledges. They say, hey, this is an MDD. This is somebody grieving, right? There's always exceptions with circumstances, and the spiral downward, the slight downward spiral actually makes sense. It's a pandemic. This has happened relatively rapidly, but that doesn't mean that we can't find good, healthy coping mechanisms. That doesn't mean that slight downward spiral won't escalate into something more. But I'm glad that you're acknowledging that it's not worse, or that you're not being hyperbolic and overestimating it either. So good for you. Pay attention to it, and you deserve that attention to yourself. Figure out some of the things that are spiraling downward, and figure out things that you can manage and things that are at least within your control. Thank you so much for sharing that comment. I mean it. Thank you. It made me think a little bit in a different way, and I appreciate that. And you deserve to feel appreciated. Donut. LOL. You gotta be a cool person if your name is like Donut. LOL. I want to incapacitate myself because I'm getting demoted from elk to hound. Well, you'll get back up to elk. I believe in you. It's an Identity 5 reference. Thank you for commenting. That one off-topic person. I'm in the shadow realm right now, much more bearable than what's going on in the earth realm. The occasionally shadow comes by to raid my house, but it is dandy here. So unfortunately, I'm not able to really keep up with the message there. However, I'm sure it's meaningful to you, and I want you to know that you deserve to kick the shit out of that shadow, I think. Sometimes it's hard for me to think abstract. I'm more of a concrete person. So I actually commend you for your ability to write in that sort of manner. I'm sure that there's a lot of message in there, and I wish that I could do a better job at deciphering it. However, that's not really my job to do so. Just know that I thank you for commenting, and if the shadow realm is some sort of literary device that you're doing in regards to where you're feeling mentally, then just know that in the shadow realm, they usually have good clothing. If you think about it, like Oblivion and stuff, like all the shadow, you always have like the dark hoods and stuff. I always love that apparel on my RPG characters. But that one off-topic person, thank you for commenting. All right, I really mean that. But at the end of the day, you're saying it is dandy there. I'm gonna run with that comment and say, I hope that it continues being dandy. And if you're an RPG character, you're gonna kick the shit out of that shadow realm. I'm rooting for you. I did the best that I could with that. I'm not perfect. I tried. If I let you down, I'm sorry. I totally understand. Just know the intent was there, alright? I got love for you. Queen Riv. Online college classes have given me so much stress and anxiety. Got you on that one. It's something I'm not used to, and it's very confusing right now. I learn best when I have someone in front of me to teach me, and I've managed so far, but math is particularly hard for me. I'm laughing because I just talked about this. This is so interesting. At least certain aspects of it, I'm feeling defeated. There's plenty of other things going on to keep me feeling down as well, but I'm pushing through. I just wish things could go back to normal. Change scares me. I know that many are going through a lot worse though. I really shouldn't complain, but anxiety sucks. I appreciate this though. Thank you. It's nice to be heard when you feel so closed off. So Queen, there's a lot to talk about here. I appreciate this comment. You're giving me some stuff to talk about. So first of all, online college classes suck. Math on online courses suck. Maybe I'm biased based on the story that I shared a little bit earlier. But you feeling defeated will feel normal because you're used to excelling or being able to compete, being able to perform at a certain level. And you have willingly admitted that you don't like change, that change just is a lot for you. That's okay. And because of that change, you're struggling with these online courses, and because of that, you feel defeated. But you need to remember that if I take a warrior from RuneScape, and not even RuneScape, but like a different RPG, and I try to make that warrior a wizard, that warrior is never going to be as good of a wizard as what the wizard is at being a wizard. We actually use a thing in psychology called the Strength Finder. Back in the 90s and the 80s, we used to take workers and we would be like, all right, what are your weaknesses? And let's build on your weaknesses. We need to make you, that RPG character like RuneScape, actually, it's a better example, that can do everything. You can be an archer, you can be a mage, yeah, you can be a warrior. But what we actually found out is that doesn't apply in the real world. People have weaknesses. People do have strengths that are better than their weaknesses. So the Strength Finder, it was around the 90s, I think, 80s or 90s. The Strength Finder was the psychometric sort of psychological approach to business where we took people and we looked at what their strengths were and we said, why are we building on these people's weaknesses? Like, yeah, you can always address weaknesses and doubt and like things that make us weak. But really what we should be doing is we should be making that warrior a better warrior. We should be taking that level 70 mage, and instead of making them a level 30 archer, we make them a level 99 mage. How about that? Right? So Strength Finder was the psychological approach, the psychometric property where you took people, you made them do a standardized sort of measure assessment, and we would find out what your strengths were. And by we, I mean the people who did it, not me. And we would build upon your strengths. And we have found success in that, both on an individual level and on a business level, right? It's like being in a hospital. If you're somebody who works in administration, why are we going to teach you to be a doctor? How about we teach you better time management, and how about you give us advice on how we can make administration easier, and how about we make you the best administrator ever to help with that whole hospital process. So with you, you're saying that online classes is one of your weaknesses. That's okay. You're allowed to have weaknesses. And you feeling defeated, I think that's unfair to yourself, but I can't convince you not to feel defeated. That's how you feel. Feeling the feelings because you're supposed to feel them. But what I'll say is go easy on yourself. Online courses, I felt defeated when I dropped out of my online math course in college. I felt super defeated. I'm like, why couldn't I do it? Well, I just realized that it wasn't compatible with me. I could do everything else, but I couldn't do that. It didn't stop me from being a good student, at least in college. High school, I was awful, right? We talked about that earlier. So I'm not going to convince you not to feel defeated. I know what it's like not being able to perform at a level that I feel like I can perform. And I know what it's like to be expected to perform at the same level even after change is sudden. So it's unfair to you. It's actually quite unreasonable with all of this that's going on to think that you're supposed to perform at the same exact level. That's so unfair. But there will be people with those expectations, and that's not because you're weak. It's because they're unreasonable. Their weakness in not understanding that does not mean that it's your weakness in your performance. That's not fair. But I know that none of that's really going to probably make you change the way of that defeat feeling. But I just want to let you know that with that defeated feeling, it's unreasonable if people don't understand. And I promise you, I understand where you're coming from. There's a lot of stuff going on, just like you said. And I know you want things to go back to normal because change scares you. And that's who you are. That's your biological makeup. And one of the things that you said, I know that many are going through a lot worse, though. That doesn't really matter. It's not a competition. What you're going through is very real. It's important to you. It's relevant to you. It doesn't matter what me and Dari are going through, or I and Dari, or Dari and I, rather. It doesn't matter what my family is going through. It doesn't matter what my patients are going through, in the sense that it does matter. I should rephrase that. All of that matters, but what you're going through matters as well. And you're allowed to feel that way. It's not a competition. That's not what life is about. And if anyone tells you otherwise, tell them to come on live feed with me and I'll debate them on YouTube, because it's disgusting. I don't like that idea. I don't like that thought. The only people who are allowed to complain are the people who have it the worst of the worst. It's such a minimal population. Like literally, like my dad could be passing away right now, and Dari could be in the hospital and I could be sick, and then somebody would say, well, somebody still has it worse. It's just it's ever growing competition. You don't gotta worry about that. This stuff is real to you. I'm telling you it's valid. I'm telling you that you shouldn't feel guilty about it. And I'm telling you that it's okay to feel overwhelmed and pressured, and it's also okay to overcome those things. It's okay to overcome everything that you're coming through. And go through it and just brush it away like a whole bunch of pricker bushes, and just, you got to learn how to put the gloves on first and just get the crap out of the way, and you will. And to expect for you to figure that out right away is not reasonable. When you're a baby, when you learn how to move in the environment, you first have to learn how to stand to stay on your stomach. Just to lay on your belly is a skill. And then you got to learn how to reach for things. You got to learn how to be able to lay on your side. And by reaching for toys, you start learning how to control your shoulders. Even before laying on your belly, you have to learn how to reach for objects, to reach for toys, so you can learn how to use your shoulders. And you start using your hands, but you're using it like this because you can't really move your fingers that great. You don't have the great dexterity. And then slowly but surely, by playing and by experimenting and going over and over again, all of this stuff, laying on your belly and learn how to reach for things, you actually start to learn how to kind of crawl a tiny bit. And then you learn how to crawl, you learn how to go in a position where you can kind of be on your forearms. And by standing on your forearms, it builds up your shoulders and your muscles. And then eventually you're able to sit up. You're actually able to sit up. You go from this thing that can't even reach for an object or anything, and slowly but surely you start learning how to use your fingers. And the first year of your life, between 12 months and 18 months, you have finally learned. Before you learn how to stand at 12 to 18 months, you're just laying. You're laying there sitting up now. You're sitting up at like 6 to 7 months, give or take, maybe a little bit more, and then you learn how to stand by holding onto a table. For the first time, you're starting to use your legs after like 7 months. You're using your fucking legs. Like, you're standing on your legs. And then you start to learn how to, wait a minute, I want to lean down and grab this item. Wait, you're starting to learn how to flex your knees. You're learning how to use your hips. You're starting to learn balance. And then over time, next thing you know, you're starting to try to walk across the room. 12 to 18 months, depending on your development. And then you start learning how to walk. Guys, that's 12 to 18 months. of constant change. It takes you 18 months to figure out how to do one thing. One big milestone that we all know about. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. It took you a long time to learn how to do that. My God, for you to dress yourself can take you 3 to 5 years to master. Usually over 5 years if you include buttoning and tying shoes and stuff. 5 years. 5 years. And we expect you to learn how to adapt in a week. It's unreasonable. It takes time. It takes a lot of repetition. Humans, we can learn quickly, but in a way, it takes a lot of work. You think you learn how to ride a bike? One effort? One chance? Hell no. We learn. We're adventurous. We're social creatures. But it takes a lot of work. And it takes a lot of repetition. Especially if we try to change somebody behaviorally. It takes years. When we try to condition people, it takes years. So going from such a sudden change, it's a lot to ask for people. So don't feel defeated. You're doing well. You're doing a good job, and you'll get there. To expect us to adapt right away, it's unreasonable. That's like us telling soldiers when they get back from war to suck it up and just acclimate. It's unreasonable. It doesn't work. It takes time. We're adaptable creatures, but when we survive, we will. But if you want us to excel, it takes time. Thank you so much for commenting. I go on such ridiculous rants. Red Ruby Rose. I'm doing okay. Been getting better at playing other survivors and hunters on Identity 5, but salty over the large amount of homework. I usually get salty at the game and not my clinical responsibilities, but we're opposites, but I understand. I'm just kidding. I hope that you're enjoying some of those survivors and some of those hunters on Identity 5. You're going to have a lot of homework. Just do the best that you can to continue adapting. That's all we can do. You're hanging in there. Keep doing a good job, okay? Human life. Oh, Perswayable is so sweet. I'm doing good, staying in, loads of homework daily, limited time, burnout. I'm fine. There you go. Human life, thank you for commenting. The loads of homework, I can't do that for you, unfortunately, but just know that even as a clinician, I have to take what we call continuing education courses, where I have to, I actually just did 20 hours to 25 hours of making sure that you're staying up to date with your license and watching other professionals showing you how to do things like mobilization techniques and things such as that. So the homework thing is a lifelong thing, but hang in there, okay? You're doing great. J Rio Hearts, there you go. You got mine. Kayumi, I'm doing okay, but I feel like the days are getting slower and that the situation is going to be going on for a long time. I just want everything to go back to normal. You are right. Yeah. Feels like the days are going slower, especially when you have more time on your hands. The question is what can you do with this time for it to be more meaningful for you? If you have the luxury of time on your hands, how can you either make it meaningful or purposeful? Purposeful, it would be something that is relative to your goals and your aspirations and things that you need to do to get to where you're at. Meaningful is what brings you joy and what brings you meaning and happiness and what makes you feel better about yourself and what makes you feel complete. So those are two separate things. We spoke about that before. So the question is with this time, how can you address both of them? And only you can answer that question. And I hope that you do, so you're able to find with this time something in order to occupy your time and to give you meaning in itself and purposefulness by trying to identify those things that you can work on and be proactive. It'll give you a very self-rewarding feeling. Why Yantan? Oh, by the way, Kayumi, thank you so much for that comment. Why Yantan? My family and I are doing just fine. Hope you are also doing fine too, Persway. Thank you. If you and your family are doing fine, I'm doing fine. That's how it works. Melichi. Still doing fine here in Vietnam. Been trying my best to stay safe and hygiene. Thanks for asking anyways. Thank you. Keep doing a good job, Melly. That makes me very happy that you're doing good. I mean that. Hang in there, okay? Minji, I'm doing good for now. I've only left my house once, which was during spring break. I would like to step outside once in a while, but because my family are Asian American, my mom worries about us. Although I love staying home and use the bathroom whenever, eat whatever why can't I hit the read more? You know, I made the mistake of loading all these YouTube comments on Internet Explorer, and I really regret doing that. I should have stuck to Google Chrome. Okay, let's read this again because it finally loaded. I'm sorry, man. I'm doing good for now. I've only left my house once, which was during spring break. I would like to step outside once in a while, but because my family are Asian American, my mom worries about us. Although I love staying home and use the bathroom whenever, eat whenever, I prefer going to school and learn than do online school. I'm reading this word for word. I'm taking a short break from Identity 5. I sometimes log in no more than that, and I probably won't obtain the Logic Path skin. Now I'm worried about my kiting skills. Me and my friend are excited about DBD Mobile. I sent a video of an AFK Michael Myers until the end of the match, and then they all got hooked and lost and got a tie to him, indicating that's gonna be you on the hook while I already escaped. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope you are doing well too. I had fun writing this. You know, I'm so glad that you had fun writing this. I think I was reading it and smiling. Like, I was like, all right, here we go, let's go. I'm glad that you found joy in writing that. That makes me happy, and I'm glad that you know that I read it because I did, and I'm also talking about it right now. In terms of you being Asian American, it's so interesting. A lot of Asian Americans, when I do speak to them, they do have that same sort of that indication that their parents and family can be very protective over them, especially over their well-being, etc. And it's good that you can acknowledge that you're staying home and you got a bathroom and you can eat whenever you want. And it's good to acknowledge that stuff. And I know that you're also worried about your kiting skills. Don't worry, your kiting skills will go up and down, you know, unless you're playing religiously, which a lot of us don't have the luxury of doing. Or maybe we do now that we're under stay-at-home orders. And I'm glad that you're excited about the DBD Mobile, because so am I. And the AFK Michael Myers probably happened because of a bot that could have happened, or he was just messing with you. I would like to do a video of that, pretending to be AFK. But I hope that you're doing well. Thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate that. It was a good story. I did like it. I was smiling. And again, thank you so much. Keep taking good care of yourself, and you're very lucky to have parents who care so much about you. I hope you know that. Mizan, I think I said that. Hello. Well, I say hi back to you. We'll keep it simple. Jian Young, or Jane Young, Yang, sorry. I'm good, bro. Can't wait until your new video. Thank you very much. I got a video coming out tomorrow. Today is April 8th. I've been doing this all on April 8th so far. And it's the best video in terms of my editing skills that I've ever made. And I've been incorporating a lot more of this. So I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, thank you so much for responding, by the way. Ghost President, yeah, I'm doing good. This quarantine is not that bad. Good, I'm glad that it's not affecting you too much, and you shouldn't feel guilty about that either. All right, so keep doing your thing, and I hope that you and your family are safe. Vincent, our city's still on community quarantine, still got PUIs, but it's all good. Just follow the guidelines. How about you and Dari? Stay safe, guys. Yeah, thank you very much, Vincent. I feel like I've answered this quite a bit, but Dari's hanging in there. She's got a lot on her plate. I'm hanging in there, but you know, we all do. It's all affecting us, and just know that that we got love for you from Dari and I. Thank you so much for being so kind to us. We do appreciate when people ask how we're doing and whatnot. It means a lot to us. You know, Dari is more of the private type. She's more of the shy, sort of stay inside introvert. And I'm more of like the same, like me and Dari and I were both like, we like to stay inside. So we're both homebodies, but like I live a paradox life where I like to be in my own home, but I also like to be a social butterfly. My perfect ideal life is just inviting everybody over to my house, because then I'm lazy enough where I don't have to leave my house, but then I can be a social butterfly as well. But we are doing very well. And, you know, I miss my girlfriend incredibly much. I really, really do. So I hope that you have your loved ones around you, and you better appreciate them for my sake, okay? I do hope for that. Thank you, Vincent, so much. Bruno, I'm fine and very grateful for that. I hope you and your loved ones are fine as well. Thank you so much, Bruno. We're doing great. Thank you for the comment. All right. LOLitude. Lolitude. Thank you for the support. We are all okay. A French fan. Hey, you should teach me French, because Dari is actually fluent in French. So she can speak French and English. A lot of people in Mauritius speak French. So I have no idea how to say any of those words. Bonjour. Hey, thank you so much for your comment. Avalanche. Doing good, just eating and playing online games and eating. Boy, I'm gonna be fat after this quarantine. Hey, the past year I've gained like 40 pounds, so I'm trying to I'm like low key for the first time in my life, like starting to consider counting calories. Thank you for your comment. I really appreciate that. Exhausted mess. Just found out I'm at risk. Very, very sorry for that, Exhausted. And continue taking care of yourself. Follow the proper measures. Quarantine yourself. Very sorry that you're going through it. And there's not much more that I can say. I'm not about to pretend like I can resolve your situation, or even pretend like, you know, I know what it's like to be going through that. You know, for a while there, I did feel like I was at risk. And we had no test in my facility, unfortunately. But, you know, just hang in there. Take care of yourself, okay? I hope that you're okay. Pain, yes, and so are you. And please tell me, what do you think of Identity 5? Is it hunter-sided? I'm not going to get into that in this video. I've talked about that before. But I hope that you're doing well, Pain. I really do. Thank you so much for commenting. I'm sorry that I can't answer your question, but that's more of a whole Identity 5 video in itself, and I just don't want to get into that right now. Sammy? Of course we are, because we're always looking forward for your next videos. Keep safe. Cheers. I'm glad that you like my videos. I genuinely do all my videos in like one take. Like this video in itself is all one take. I'm just stopping it. Well, so it's not one take, I guess, but I'm not redoing anything. Like once I go, I go. That's it. I don't like to go back. Just sometimes I do have to stop it because I either have to eat food, or I got to take care of something, or do a chore, or whatever the case is. But I usually don't go back and redo something unless there's a technical difficulty. So I actually improv everything. I've improv this entire thing. I just speak from the top of my head and what's important to me. I feel like that's the most genuine thing to do. So I thank you so much for liking my videos. I really mean that. Thank you so much. And continue taking care of yourself. Ryuna Black. Quarantine starts today. Hi, Perswayable. Hi. Good luck with your quarantine. Remember that there's a lot of things that you can do. You just gotta explore them. I laugh because I know that's difficult to do for some people, but you got this, boo-boo. You got this. I believe in you. I'm going to need people to tell me that when I go 14 days quarantine. Thank you for commenting. All right. All right, let's keep going. I had to take another little break. This is going to be such a long YouTube video. But like, I'm mad dickheaded. I'm not gonna stop until I address everybody. I told you, you guys deserve this attention. I meant that. It's important. This is important to me. This is important to me. Okay. Puran. I'm fine, thanks. I'm from Thailand, and right now we've been locked down in our house. Every school closed. I hope the situation gets better. I think you're the first person who's commented saying that they're from Thailand. First and foremost, thank you so much for your support. I mean that. I really, really mean that. especially from Thailand. That's so cool. I was supposed to go to Thailand last year for that tournament with Identity 5, but then I had a massive anxiety attack and I couldn't make it to the flight. Oh, that was so embarrassing. And I still don't think NetEase is forgiving me for that. But anyways, thank you so much for your support. And I hope that you continue taking good care of yourself. Not your hero essay. Know you. Well, yeah, know you. Back to you, boo. Some tooth passed. I'm doing the best I can for myself and for my family. I like how you worded that, because you didn't really say if you're doing good or bad. You're just saying that you're doing the best that I can for me and my family. And that's important to me. Continue doing your best, because that's all we can do right now, right? Continue doing your best and asking yourself if there's anything that you could do to continue taking care of you and your family. Thank you so much for responding. Enchantress, Slow-Mo, and Kanto89. Yes. That's what they wrote. And my answer is yes. Darcy, Fiona, I'm doing good. Take care, Perswayable. Nice and concise, short, easy. Darcy, continue doing good. Thank you for responding to me. Salty Banana Fish. What do you guys come up with these names? I love it. We have online classes again soon, but doing fine. Me and my friends call a lot and play a bunch of Identity 5 together. We don't really win that much, but it's fun doing random things together. Stay safe. Hey, invite me, we'll win. It's my competitive side, right? Invite me, we'll win. Salty Banana, continue enjoying your time with your friends, playing Identity 5 if it brings you joy. Thank you so much for responding. Sezreal, or Sezreal. Few mental breakdowns, but for the most part decent. Staying at home is nice. I hope you're taking good care of yourself. Remember, try to identify some of those trigger points. Mental breakdowns would make sense given all the change. I personally am rooting for you. And with your mental breakdowns, I'd be very intrigued to understand why and how they're being triggered. Especially if you can find ways to remediate that, to kind of diminish those things from happening, you know. But, you know, I guess that's not my place in your life right now, since I'm just doing a YouTube video on all of these comments. But just know that there are plenty of people that, like myself, would absolutely love to try to figure out if there's a way to reduce those. But then again, that's up to you as well. That might be, you know, part of everyday life with you. But what I want you to know is I've had some mental breakdowns as well especially last year. This year I've been good, but last year was a rough year for me. I had a good year. It was a good year for me, but I had some mental breakdowns, man. I mean, I ended up crying on YouTube. If you haven't seen that video, it's awful. I haven't deleted it either, and I'm not going to. But hang in there, okay? Hang in there and continue taking care of yourself. Euphoria 1031. By the way, Cedric, thank you so much for sharing that. Euphoria 1031. Does playing phone and computer for a whole day considered to be a good care? But anyways, yeah, I'm doing fine. It's great to know that you care about us all. Hope you're doing great, Persway. Take a good care of yourself. Remember to always wash your hands. Yes, washing it. So actually, in between takes, I think right now I'm on my 8th take. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm on my 8th take. So I've had to break this up because it's so long, and I needed to eat some dinner. I needed to do some things. I've been washing because, like, you guys have noticed that I've been touching my face too and stuff, and I can't help it when I'm not wearing my protective equipment. It's just habit. So yeah, I wash my hands in between takes. Hope you keep taking good care of yourself. Thank you so much for considering about me and asking about me. I appreciate that. Kakishi. Yeah, I'm good, but our maids are coming, so we are on risk though. But how are you? I'm doing great. There's a lot in that I would love to ask you about, but we don't have time. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate it. Sasuke. Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. Love from the Philippines. I love the Filipino people. Thank you so much for showing me your love. Tentacle Popsicle. To be honest, I am not taking good care of me. Just gets me kind of depressed when I see the weather is nice outside finally and I have to stay inside because of quarantine. Especially when I know that I could have given my dog the long walks he wants if there wasn't quarantine. I'm very sorry about that, Tentacle Popsicle, especially since this has affected our everyday life. We talked about this earlier within this about how it's going to be such a tease, you know, being inside and looking outside and seeing the weather. I think it's actually going to be harder, especially for Americans, to deal with that since our seasons are coming up on summer. Because in certain parts of the world, you know, summer's over with now. So it would make sense. I'm glad that you're thinking about your pup dog. I'm not going to lie. Your pup dog, oh my God, your pup dog must be incredibly loved. But there are other ways that you can spend time with your dog other than just walking them too, right? And know that your dog will definitely welcome that sort of attention. Hopefully, actually, right? I'm not a vet. Well, what am I talking about? I don't know your dog. But I know that if I couldn't go on long walks, but my caretaker as an animal would spend time with me and cuddle with me and play with me, that would personally bring me joy. But I'm not a dog either. Well, I think I've compared myself to a dog. Pretty sure I did actually within this video. But I'm so glad that you have such a great relationship with your dog. And sorry, I have to reposition myself a little bit. I'm hunched over a lot because I don't know like how great the mic catches my... I'll learn. Like, I don't know if the audio is just as good right here, which would be nice because then I can sit upright. This hunch over stuff I can't be doing. So I'll work on that as well. I'm still learning as a video editor. But anyways, Tentacle Popsicle. What I want you to know is, you know, it makes sense for the way you're going through. It makes sense that your mood has probably been going through different stages with all these changes. And I hope that you're able to find and identify something that can help you. I do mean that. And I really hope that you could find a way to spend some more quality time with your dog. Oh my God, I miss my dog so much. He's back at home with my mom. Thank you for commenting. All right, Carol. Doing peachy, though I hope you're also doing well. Stay safe, drink water, and wash your hands thoroughly. Persway. I will, just because you told me to. If you didn't tell me to do it, I wouldn't do it. I'm not going to lie. I'm glad that you're doing okay. Thank you so much for commenting. Dalward Khan. To be honest, I just don't go outside and wash my hands. Well, you know, hopefully that you can increase the frequency of washing your hands. And if you don't like to go outside, then, well, guess what? It's the perfect time for you because we're telling you not to. Well, in regards to being relatively close to other people, listen to the individuals who are enacting those sort of laws within your state and the regulations that they have there, because it does differ a little bit from state to state. Let's see. Monstrous Ronan. Oh my God, I'm doing great. I hope you are too, Perswayable. Thank you. So many people are saying so many nice things. Ricky Sion. Yes, there we go. Thank you, Ricky. Don't mind my profile pic. LEL. This won't get hearted. Ha ha. Joke's on you. I hearted it. Shez XOX. Yes, I'm fine. I live in the Philippines and it's getting hard here because of the total lockdown. But hey, at least I'm not sick. Thank you for asking, Persway. Thank you very much. I'm telling you, man, so many people from the Philippines, they're so supportive. They're so supportive. Thank you so much, Shez. And continue taking care of yourself. Yosa CHR, I'm doing my best. Hey, that's all you can do. Thank you for commenting. Vinny V. Mori, everything is well and hope you are good too. Thank you very much. Conga ready. I'm good. I'm just very scared because the number of cases was controlled in my country, but in the past couple of days, it has shot up and schools have been closed. Non-essential workplaces have been closed. Our zero death toll has risen to 7. Still, I am thankful my country is still in a relatively good position, and I can't help but feel really depressed when I look at other countries, especially the United States, in dealing with the coronavirus and the pain nurses and doctors have to go through. I just want to be able to help them. I really wish I had some kind of superpower. I hope you're taking care of yourself too, Perswayable. I am. Thank you so much. So, yeah, United States is going through quite a bit, but you have every right and concern to be worried about your country as well with exponential growth. You know, one person infects 4, 4 infects 16, 16 infects, you know, it goes on and on. All right, just do the square root. And That's why you have every right to be worried with where you're at. At one point, America was at the same numbers you're at, and look at where we are. So your concern is valid, morally, ethically, and even mathematically with exponential growth. So, you should continue monitoring that, and you should continue being proud that your country shut everything down. The best thing that you can do is to do that social distancing in the beginning. The best way to prevent exponential growth is with the early strategies. What you're seeing America do, even though we say we did early strategies, in my humble opinion, I'll disagree with some certain medical experts. We could have done a way better job. I really do think that we could have done a better job. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to control this after the fact that exponential growth has already occurred. So that's why hopefully your country is shutting things down right away and being a little bit more proactive. That's just my own personal opinion. Some feel differently, and that's perfectly fine. In terms of you having a superpower, your superpower is making Perswayable smile. There you go. I just gave you a superpower because reading that comment right there made me very happy. Just hang in there. Do the best that you can. Nurses and doctors are going through a lot, but I can tell you this much. I mean, I'm not a nurse or a doctor. I'm an occupational therapist, but it makes me happy knowing that people are staying inside and they're doing their part. Just like nurses are, just like doctors are, just like OTs and PTs and SLPs and RRTs and NPs and PAs and just like you, everybody has to do their part. And we all appreciate when you guys follow them guidelines. So thank you. Thank you for commenting, by the way. Hannah, there are already so many comments that I'm not sure if I should, but I love that you read all of them and genuinely care. It's really sweet of you. Quarantine hasn't changed my life too much. I like to stay home. I like to stay home anyway, so I'm doing really well. There you go. I'm a homebody as well. I totally understand. Thank you, Hannah, but I did read it. Coronavirus, just chilling at home, but sadly 40 deaths today in my country. I'm very sorry about that. Continue doing your part, staying inside, and you know that at the end of the day, you're doing your part. Everybody feels like they have such a little part, and they don't realize that the collective whole has a big part if they do their little part. So it's important. You're important. So do your part. Thank you. Real Nobody Cat. I know this is a day late, so I'm gonna act like it's yesterday. I'm fine, just a little lonely here and there, but fine. Yeah, that loneliness. I get it. I understand that one. Hang in there for me. And do your part as well. Real, thank you so much for responding. Alex D. My family is doing fine. Although it's a bummer we can't find or make some foods anymore because the ingredients aren't in the store. Oh, that's a good take. Online school is way more difficult than I thought it would be, but I'm pushing through. Wish the best to all frontliners and medical providers. I admire every single one of y'all for doing something as noble. Even I don't think there's any more to read to that. Alex D, thank you for writing that. And I know for a fact, say I wash my hands again, touch my face again. I know for a fact that a lot of them would appreciate reading that. You know, especially nurses, they're the number one field to be abused by or assaulted by patients, and people a lot of the time only get complaints and not comments of you did a good job. Now rehab can be a little different sometimes, but thank you so much for that. We appreciate that, especially them more than me. And it's not that I don't appreciate it. I do, but what I should have said right there is that they need that more than me. That's a better way of saying it. I misspoke, and I'm sorry. You talk for about 4 or 5 hours, that's going to happen. Tofu in heaven. I'm doing all right. My school just closed for online learning for a month. The bad thing is that I'm a graduating class this year, and I have exams in October, and I'm a little stressed since it's super important and online classes are not as helpful as being present in class. You are right. You are right. They're not as good in my opinion. You don't get that same hands-on approach. It's been an ongoing theme in a lot of these comments, and I hope that your teachers and your professors are mindful of that. I do mean that. But I'm sure that you've gone through a lot in your life. You've been able to overcome other objectives, and other objects that have been physically, mentally, even in an abstract manner in your way, and you're going to be able to overcome them. Thank you for commenting, Tofu. Wilson H. Currently in good condition. I just don't know yet what to do at home. You'll find that out. You're not expected to have all that figured out. Imagine being told at 3 years old you're supposed to have everything in life figured out. All right? So this is a new change. You got some time to adapt. You got this, Wilson. Thank you for responding. Aria. Kind of sad and lonely for some reason. I don't want to talk to anyone about it, though, because I don't want to ruin the mood or something like that. Yeah, that's going to happen quite a bit. Sometimes we feel like a burden when we talk about our issues to other people. And that's actually, in a way, our own mind playing tricks on us, because you assume that there aren't people who actually want to hear about you, who actually care about you, who actually want to know that you're going through this. So what happens is that sometimes we'll feel miserable or sad, and we hate that feeling, and then we think that by talking about it, we're going to cause others to go through that same sort of feeling. But that is up for the other person to decide whether they're in the right mindset to help you and to talk to you at least. You know, that's an important distinction there. And I know for a fact that there's times where, as an example, I'm feeling really down about myself. I'm feeling very bad or overwhelmed. And there'll be times where I'm like, well, I'm just not going to tell Dari. I'll just get over this, right? I don't want to bring down Dari's mood. But, Dari signed up for that. And Dari wants to help me. Dari wants to talk to me. She doesn't want her boyfriend to go through that alone. If I went through that alone, she'd probably be more upset, because she's like, I'm here to be your teammate, right? And although there are obstacles we have to deal with on our own and at our own time, and if I told her I need my own time, she'd be patient. But at the end of the day, there are people who are willing to be there for you. And if you choose not to go to them, that's one thing. But don't let your mind convince you that none of them want to hear from you. Okay? Let them make that choice when you reach out. Best of luck to you. I'm so rooting for you, okay? ALO. I said that wrong. ALO. I hope everyone is doing fine. My family is, and my dad is the only one who goes to buy stuff, and my sister and I do occasionally to take our dog out. Bit worried because my friend is sick, but I know she'll get better. Been watching some anime, Vines, been reading and playing multiple games, switching constantly to one another. As for homework, well, I should probably start on it and start studying, because now I have to do my AP test online. Yay me. Other than that, I'm still sane, so I guess that's good news. Hey, that's such a great message. Thank you for sending that message to me. It's good that you have one person going out to buy the groceries. That's a very important thing. And of course, you're going to have to take your dog out. Just try to make sure you maintain that social distancing, right? I'm very sorry that your friend is sick as well. I am. That's concerning. On another level, remember that there are other things other than just the coronavirus going right now. I'm not here to diagnose her, but I'm here to tell you, do the best that you can to let her know that you got love for her. And this is such a good message, though. The homework, you should probably start on that for sure, especially AP. AP online, yeah. I'd be annoyed. Not gonna lie to you. I just hearted that, okay? Good luck to you. Thank you for sending that message. My shoelace. Yeah, I am. Noticing I have been losing my appetite once this whole thing started. But I think it's just because of how we needed to stay home, and school always makes me come home hungry. Online school is it's weird not waking up to my alarm. Also, I get bored most of the time. So yeah, that's pretty much it for now. You or anyone in general just reading this got any games I can play while I'm quarantined? Dead by Daylight Mobile's coming out soon. I don't really have advice on any of the newer games coming out because I've been so absorbed with Dead by Daylight Mobile. But I do want to eventually do them anime reviews and video game reviews. I'm not going to talk about that right now because I've talked about it too much in the past, and I'm still working my way there. This is actually an example of me working with some of the editing style. This actually is going to help me get to that point. This is a big stepping stone. I need to get used to doing this sort of stuff. So this is actually a stepping stone of me getting there. But good luck to you. I mean that. And in terms of your appetite and your routine, make sure that you're trying to do the best that you can, even if you can get some fruit in there. I know things are a little difficult in regards to everybody's schedule and routine. But it's good that you're acknowledging that your schedule, that you feel a little off because of it, and ask yourself, what can I do to change that? All right. And if you find any good games, tell me. Rebecca LJ, I'm still working. Not a healthcare hero, quotations, but I'm a lunch lady hero, LOL. We're still going to school every day to feed the kiddos in the community. Anyone 18 and under, whether enrolled in our district or not, it's fantastic to be a help to families who are out of work. Plus, I'm relieved to not be stuck at home. Need to catch up on some Identity 5 and DBD, though. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah, so you're very important. We learn in the healthcare field, always be super nice to the lunch ladies because they'll give you extra food. Always. You gotta teach the people who, you don't ever mess with people who are working with your food, ever. No, never mess with people who are working with your food. And it's so funny. We are so nice to our lunch ladies because I do eat at the clinic where I work, and you know, I've always been nice to everybody there, and I didn't start eating there until maybe 6 months in, and because I just, you know, I felt like their food was very healthy, very affordable. And it was cheaper than for me to eat there and to eat as healthy as what they cooked than for me to make it and waste my time. And because I was so nice to them, and over time, because I have to work with them based on some of my patients' diets and physical needs, when I decided to start going over there, they started giving me more and more food. And they're like, oh, yeah, we got you. Yeah. Keep my belly full. It gives me more energy. I do a better job with my patients. So, yo, what you do is important. You are a hero. That's it. And you'll catch up with Identity 5 and DBD when your schedule meets with, when your schedule works well with you. Thank you, Rebecca, for responding. I appreciate that. Stella, I try to take care of myself as much as possible, and I never thought I'd say that, but I kind of miss school. It feels like I'm wasting my life sitting here doing nothing. I have 2 weeks of holidays right now, but I'm trying to learn new stuff like playing the guitar. Thanks for asking, man. I hope you're all right. There you go. Hey, you know, oh, by the way, you said greetings from Germany. There you go. Good for you. You've done a lot there. I think you should give yourself credit because you understand. You've actually been able to do a great job because you understand that you feel like you're not doing anything because right now time probably is sitting still because you're on holidays. And you're like, all right, I need to do something with my time. And you took up the guitar. Good for you. And remember, you don't only have to adopt one thing that's new. You're allowed to try multiple things. That's a good message, though. I'm glad that you were able to get that insight and start executing some good judgment on how you need to remediate it. You're essentially saying, hey, something's wrong here, and I need to do something about this. That's excellent. Good for you. Regardless of how the guitar goes, that's an important skill that you have. Thank you for commenting. Celine, the whole quarantine has really been hard mentally, but I'm staying strong and keeping myself focused on schoolwork and hobbies. Same thing, Celine. Excellent message. Good job. Continue taking care of yourself. Try to gain control of this situation and do the best that you can, okay? That is really good that you're trying to be proactive with your approach. Steve-O, I don't need the heart. Just be safe, boo-boo. Yo, you getting the heart though, Steve-O. I just gave you the heart. You're going to be giving me good comments like that and you don't want the heart? You deserve the heart. You earned the heart. Thank you for your message. Aisha, we're doing just fine. Hope you are the same. Always take care, Perswayable. I will. Thank you so much, Aisha. I think that's how you say it. There's another name that I can't pronounce because it's all in a different language. I'm sorry. We're having online classes and all, but I don't think I'm keeping up as well as I would in school. I'm super worried about that because I have a major exam this year. I'm not that good at revising the material on my own. This quarantine is really testing my family's patience with each other too. We've already had fights, but we'll hold out on the end of this. Yes, there's a lot of research talking about how this is going to affect families, right? I'm going to be honest with you. I love my mother and father. They are great people, but if I was under quarantine with them in the house all the time, if I wasn't locked in my room away from them, it would... Oh, God. Yeah, our relationship got better when I moved out of the house. We have a great relationship, but just living with people, it's always a difficult thing. We talked about that earlier. So just know that what you and your family are going through, it'd be very scary, right? If your family was the only one out there going through this. And it would be like, what's wrong with my family? What the hell's going on? What is everything? But when you find out that a lot of families are reacting this way, then you can understand that what you're going through, at least to a degree, is considered typical. And you can problem solve using that. It's like, wait a minute, a whole bunch of people are going through this. We're going through it too. What can we do about this? Right? So that's an important quality. And I hope that you and your family can problem solve that. Maybe identify when you guys are getting on each other's nerves. Find a good strategy where if you guys are getting on each other's nerves, then you understand that is perfectly reasonable under the situation of this quarantine where it's happened across millions of families. You could say, okay, what can we do to maybe separate this? What can we do to figure this out? Because everybody resolves conflict differently. So one of the things that you should do is ask somebody, okay, say if I'm annoying you or you're annoying me. Say if you're annoying me or I'm annoying you. Well, how would you want to resolve that? What's your preferable method? Well, here's my preferable method. And then you see if the methods are compatible. And if not, you try to work out something, make a contract. I'm serious. This stuff works. Families employ it all the time. And it sounds like your family could do it as well. Thank you so much for your comment, though. I really wish you the best. And I hope that your teachers will show you some sympathy, because learning online is very different from learning in the school system. Josimar Francis, or Josimar. Hey, Persway, hi from Panama. Hi. We are struggling, but okay, on quarantine, just like other countries. I burped. Let me try that again. Hey, Persway, I'm from Panama. We are struggling, but okay, on quarantine, just like other countries, taking it easy with work from home, wife and my daughter. I hope that you guys continue being safe, and, I'm glad that you can admit that you're struggling and that you guys are managing, and that's all you can do right now. Yeah, your wife and your daughter are very, very lucky to have you, so keep fighting the good fight. Thank you so much for responding. Lady Phantom Hive, I'm not doing too well. I come from a big family, and one of my family members is badly sick. I'm trying to stay strong, but it really is getting hard for me to stay positive. Online schooling is stressing me out, and we're running out of food. It's hard to go out to get supplies. The number of cases keep going up since I live in a small island where people can get easily sick. All these problems is really messing me up mentally. I try to distract myself with games, YouTube, stories, movies, etc. to keep me from going insane. I really appreciate that you took the time to ask people how they are doing. How are you also doing over there? I'm doing all right. Thank you for having that emotional capacity right now. This, especially with everything that you're going through. You're going through so much, and you still had the emotional capacity to ask me how I'm doing, and I appreciate that. First of all, I'm very sorry that you're not doing too well. And I'm very sorry that one of your family members is sick. If my dad got sick, it would worry me all the time. So I'm not going to preach to you. I'm not going to give you advice, because I come from a circumstance that benefits me to be able to do what I'm doing right now. All right. So although I have patients who pass away, had patients that passed away recently, even though I have patients with COVID-19, things like that, it's not a family member. And although you love your patients and stuff, there's a different connection with your family. That's a real thing. And so I hope that your family member is making it through this, and I hope your family member knows that they're loved by you, because that's an incredible thing. Your family member is very, very lucky to have you. I can tell that you're worried about them. And in a weird way, when somebody worries about us, as long as we're not being self-destructive and we're not purposely doing things to elicit that behavior, and that worry is from general circumstances, it's a good way of being reminded that we're loved and cherished. So that family member is very lucky to have you. Online schooling, we've talked about this. That thing is a disaster. It's not the same as other people learning. This makes me kind of want to maybe be more proactive in terms of the learning curriculum. Maybe there's something I can do about that. I doubt it, but I can try. And I'm very sorry about the number of cases going up. Dari would know what that's like more than me because she lives on an island. And I feel like I would know what that's better than some people who don't associate with islands, because I know what it's like to have people on that island that I care, people that I call family. And I worry about them, especially on a small, tiny island, because it can spread. It can spread quickly. And over there, the news, Dari taught me how, over here we'll have like 3 cases of the coronavirus and it's not that big of a deal. But on the island, it's everything. So I really want you to know that I send my sympathy and love towards you. And I'm sorry about the food and supplies. I mean that. And you being mentally affected by everything that's going on, between your family member getting sick, between the grocery situation, it would make sense. Okay? And it's good that you try to distract yourself. But maybe try to do something that actively engages you in something, being engaged in the things that you've listed games, YouTube, movies. Those are all good things, but they may not work for you. Maybe you're somebody that does better, that requires some sort of more physical engagement beyond games, right? If I get really stressed, man, sometimes I got to go on the piano. If I have a piano, sometimes I just got to play. Even if I don't know how to play the piano well, I don't give a damn. Just gonna play. Or sometimes I write music. I write music to beats. I got like 10 or 12 songs I've never released. I got music, and it's not about whether I produce it or not. It's just that I know that I'm writing something. I've had poetry published in a book before, because there was a time where I was going through stuff and I was like, yo, I gotta write, I gotta do something. And I was physically engaged in something instead of just passively watching something. Maybe that will work for you. Maybe it won't. I am not telling you that that's what you need to do. I'm just saying continue exploring those possibilities. That's important for you, okay? And I'm rooting for you. I really mean that. Thank you again, Lady Phantom Eye. I'm doing well again. I know that I answered that in the beginning, but it means a lot that you asked. And you have a good day. Hey everyone, that concludes the 4-episode series, about 4.8 hours of communicate with you all. That is my obligation. That is what you all deserve. I have answered over 230 people. Just know that I'm doing my part. I genuinely love you all. Not sure if this is going to amount to anything, but thank you for watching, everybody. Have a blessed day.